This is Adrian Manz. If you'd like a copy of my book, Around the Horn, A Trader's Guide to Consistently Scoring in the Markets, visit traderinsight.com, where you'll receive a 30% discount and 3-day shipping. That's the best price anywhere, only from Trader Insight.
From Los Angeles, TraderInsight.com presents Dr. Adrian Manz in the war room and at the helm with today's look at stocks and sectors on the radar.
For TraderInsight.com, I'm Adrian Manz, and this is Stocks and Sectors on the Radar for Thursday, April 16th, 2009. On Wednesday, Dow Jones Industrials up 109.44 to close at 8029.62. We had 2,169 stocks advance, 873 decline, and NYSE total volume at 1.48 billion shares. So this rally happened late in the day. We got a really nice push to the upside. It comes on the heels of this measured move in this V bottom here. We had a double header set up on the weekly and monthly charts. If you take a look at them, and you will see that right now we don't have an around the horn pattern going on in the index any longer. I guess somewhere midday today, this thing probably qualified as a 3-2 pitch, but we got that push higher going into the close. We're up at the top of this recent range, and the next target logically would be up around 8,200, provided that we get some good earnings news over the next couple of days. As for the rest of the indices, S&P 500 up 1056 to close at 852.06. That's above the 850 level. That's a critical benchmark. That's good news. NASDAQ 100, NASDAQ comp, just fractional moves on the session. Down 580 at 1316.51 on the 100, and up 108 at 1626.80 on the comp. Now, we had a few setups from last night. We had 3. 2 of them resulted in scratch stops, and one of them resulted in a small stop loss. We're going to have a quick look at those, and then we will take a look at 3 stocks on deck for Thursday. Now, with the kind of price action that we had on these radar stocks today, I normally wouldn't even go over them. I just tell you that we had scratch stops and a small stop on one of them. But I had a good question from Greg in Michigan. Wanted to know, do I use the 50% scratch stop that I refer to in the book, in the ground rules of the book, on these stocks and sectors on the radar as well? And the answer is yes. I use that in all my trading, anything in that ground rules chapter, especially the part about trailing stops and stops. That stuff is integral to how I make my living as a trader. That's on page 31 and Around the Horn. Those of you who have it laying around, take a look. Those of you who don't, just know that this example is going to pretty much explain how that stop works. Ace Limited, we had a 44.44 entry. We had a 43.90 target. 50% of the distance from the entry to the target, $44.17. Once we got down below that in the second 5-minute bar of the day, right 10 minutes into trading, we hit that protective trailing stop level. Once the stock turned around, then boom, I had a scratch stop and I was out of the position. Same thing happened on Camden Property Trust. This one was ticker symbol CPT. Again, we had a 23.60 entry. We had a 23.25 initial target, very shallow targets on these, and a $23.43, 50% to target area. And we got down to $23.40, so that's just below the 50% level at $23.43. So once we hit that, trail the stop to break even, and when the stock started trading to the upside again, closed out that short. As for Continental Airlines, this thing just didn't want to cooperate. It got us in. It did not get 50% to the profit target. Our entry was $11.50. Our target was $11.15, and $11.33 would have been 50% to the profit target. We did have these highs here, and this lined up very well with this close and the open of this bar. Now, in an intraday time frame, 5-minute chart, that gave you plenty of reason to assume that if we broke out above that level, up above $11.73, that the stock was going to move higher. That's in fact what happened, and that's where Julie and I were looking for the doors. So now let's take a look at what's on deck for Thursday. Got 3 stocks to look at. I think these ought to make for some pretty decent intraday entry opportunities if we get a move in a positive direction in the indices. All right, let's talk about these. I've got 3 sectors, 4 stocks. Actually, I might have said 3 stocks earlier, but it's 3 sectors. I've got 2 in building products, and then I've got an electric utility and a computer peripheral outfit. First one we're going to look at is Armstrong World Industries. This is ticker symbol AWI. This is a switch hitter pullback on this bigger move, and I am going to be looking for a move above $14.90 a share with an initial profit target on this at about $15.50 a share. Next one on deck, Allegheny Energy Incorporated. This is in the energies, ticker symbol AYE. This is an electric utility. Got a line drive move up above the 50-period simple moving average. Trade above $26.65 a share. Gonna have me interested in a potential entry on this one with a target around $27. Then I've got Diebold Incorporated, ticker symbol DBD. Computers and Peripherals Information Technology. This is a 3-2 pitch setup. If I see trade above $25.35 a share, I'm going to look for strength in the sector, strength in the indices, and a reason to get into this one. And I'm going to have a target very tight up around $25.61 a share. And finally, in building products in the industrials, I've got Owens Corning, ticker symbol OC. Trade above $13.89 per share on this fastball setup. Gonna have me looking for an entry with a initial profit target up around $14.40 a share. If you guys have any questions, shoot me an email, Adrian@traderinsight.com. Use protective stops on every trade and have a great trading day on Thursday.